Good morning, 11:30 on the clock. It's time for Market Fatafat, the show where we get you a wrap of all the movers and shakers wrapped up in 30 minutes. I'm Mubina Kapasi. Markets looking weak, continuing that declining trajectory. So 10,750, we've surpassed that mark as well on the downside, of course. The Sensex is losing close to 130 points, and most of the slide has actually come in just in the last 1 hour. It's almost been a one-way decline that we have seen for the Nifty and the Sensex. The mid-cap index, which was so far holding on, has as well succumbed under selling pressure and now in fact is in the red, 11 points gone. Small cap index down by about 0.25%, with metals once again, along with the energy pack, leading the decline. But without any further ado, let's kickstart the show by introducing our research analysts. We have with us Vivek Iyer, Pranay Jain on the show. Along with him is also Siddharth Dhamre and Kunal Bothra. And on the technicals, we are joined by Sumit Bagadia of Choice Broking. So good morning to all of you and thanks for joining in. And the very first stock that we have on our radar is NMDC, where sources are telling ET now that the company is all set to once again cut prices of its fines and lumps prices. So for fines, we're staring at a cut of 300 rupees per ton, whereas for lumps, it's a price cut of 350 rupees, which would bring down product prices to a 9-month low. Additionally, do remember that in the last 1 month, we have seen not 1, not 2, but 3 price cuts, if we do have to consider this one as well. So the price cut trajectory continues. Remember, yesterday the company had reacted in the green to the news of the buyback. Today, however, it's erased all those gains. Okay, the next stock on our portfolio, on our radar is Praj Industries. Kunal, you have a buy here. Why is that?
Stock is nearing a breakout. It's already been on a strong footing since last few months. There are some huge volume pattern accumulations for Praj Industries. The stock remains sideways for a good part over the last couple of weeks. But I think after today's in-price up move, we can decisively say the stock is nearing or rather trying to complete that monthly and yearly breakout patterns as well. So I believe Praj could be a good bet from a short-term horizon, from a longer-term horizon as well. Short-term targets of 126 on Praj, recommending a buy, stop loss 114.
All right, Praj Industries higher by 4.5%. Stock number 3 then, Vivek, TVS Motors. Auto stocks have really crumbled, and now what's the view from Citi?
Well, as you rightly mentioned, auto stocks have been the bane of the market, at least in the last 2 trading sessions. So what has actually happened is that TVS Motors missed its estimate, analyst estimates by quite a margin yesterday, and today Citi has come out with a note. They've actually maintained their sell stance and their target price is just at around 480 rupees a share. Now the main reason for this is, number one, they're highlighting the slowing demand for two-wheelers across the nation, and the other thing that they're saying is TVS, even at these levels, is not really a very cheap stock. They're saying that valuations are at almost 26 times FY20 basis is really expensive, which is why they have a sell stance on the stock.
Okay, a sell stance. The stock, however, making an attempt to recover the kind of losses it posted yesterday in trade. Today, it's higher by 0.8%. Okay, but the stock of the day certainly has got to be Bank of Baroda and even the 2 merger candidates, Vijaya and Dena Bank, which are seeing significant carnage. Pranay, what are brokerages making of the swap ratio?
Well, Mobina, Morgan Stanley says that the swap ratio is clearly in favor of Bank of Baroda and has led to 27% lower valuation for Dena Bank and 6% lower for Vijaya Bank. Therefore, JP Morgan also believes that this swap ratio now alleviates any pricing concern for Bank of Baroda. That is the reason why it is still trading up while the others are seeing red. And this will basically lead to moderation in credit costs, but the synergies will take time to play out.
Okay, and while BOB is managing to hold on, look at the way Vijaya and Dena Bank are declining in double digits. In fact, for Dena, Vijaya Bank as well has tumbled to a level of 6.66%. Siddharth, Jeevan Finance, what is it that you're witnessing in the way the stock is moving today?
Well, it's on verge of price volume breakout, moving out, Jeevan. And after 8 days of consolidation, we are seeing a heightened price as well as volume activity. It's just been 2.5 hours and volumes are substantially high. And if you look at futures and options segment, around 8 to 9% built up, or more than that built up in futures segment, which means that this breakout is supported by a formation of long positions. So positive indications from derivatives and technicals.
All right, Ujjivan holding on 2.8% higher. The next stock, Dabur, and Smith, the FMCG space has been very resilient today. So what is the strategy you would recommend on Dabur?
Hi, good morning, Mubina. Well, Dabur is looking good to me. On charts, it seems that the stock is moving higher. It has support at around 410 levels on lower side. So till the time these levels are not taken away, it's better to be on buy side. one can initiate fresh long positions at the current market price with the stop loss to be placed at 410 levels on lower side for the upside target of 440 levels in next couple of days.
All right, so that's Dabur for you. It's holding on by 1%. Okay, another stock that's very resilient is Bharti Infratel. In fact, it's one of the top Nifty gainers as well as we speak. Credit Suisse is an outperform stance with the target at 340 rupees. So almost an 80% upside is what they're expecting from these levels. They say that the new disclosures should allay worries on rental pressures. The worst of tenancy exits, according to Credit Suisse, is behind Bharti Infratel. And the network rollouts will lead to recovery in the revenue and EBITDA. Disclosures given by the company do give comfort on the continuity of MSA. So no wonder that the stock is holding on. Quite a positive note from Credit Suisse. The next stock, Vivek, HDFC, fundraising plans by the bank.
Well, that's right. HDFC, after a while, it was looking to go ahead and raise funds, but this will come as a bit of a breather as far as markets are concerned. HDFC's board is considering to raise almost 45,000 crore, and the amount is quite significant. And this is going to be through an issue of NCDs. However, the market at this point of time is punishing NBSEs, and the stock is down almost 1.6% in the session today.
Okay, well, not bank, but HDFC Limited. That's the name, and they're planning to raise about 45,000 crores via NCDs. Pranay, OMC names and particularly IOC, what's the news of the year?
Well, last evening, the company had said that all the OMCs will now stop absorbing the 1 rupee per litre hit that they had been due to the subsidy hike which was requested from the Finance Ministry. Also with the oil prices now cooling, it means that most of these benefits will be passed on, but not all of them to the consumers. While this is the positive news, you're still seeing all of these OMCs trade in red right now.
All right. Yes, OMCs are trading with losses right now. But that's even the case with auto names and M&M, Siddharth. It's not just today, for the last few sessions. In fact, it's just not started 2019 on a good note. It started off at 800, now it's at 732. What's your observation here?
Well, those numbers have really not gone down well, Mubina, and this is a consecutive fall we are seeing in M&M. And along with that, we are seeing strong built-up in future segments. So you would think that, okay, the correction has been quite steep, but then there are traders who are still shorting M&M. One has to watch out for the support zone of 710, 715, which is like 3 to 4% or 3% from current levels. If that support goes, then probably M&M would be staring at big downside. But these are the observations, and they are not positive.
Watch out for the 710 to 715 level. Similar is the case even with Bajaj Auto, not reacting well to the numbers. Today, however, it's attempting to recover. So, Kunal, what would be a strategy here?
So, yes, the stock seems to be trading firm at those support levels of 2700 odd. But I believe that if you look at it over the last 2 weeks chart, there is a head and shoulder pattern getting formed, and that neckline is exactly the levels where the stock is trading 2680 to 2700 band. So I think that if this key support of 2680 is breached for Bajaj Auto, then you're talking of a reversal of this head and shoulder pattern, which should take the stock substantially lower. So I would suggest or rather recommend a short in Bajaj Auto below 2680 spot levels for a target of at least 2500, 2550 in stop at 2770.
Okay, Bajaj Auto making an attempt to recover after the losses it witnessed yesterday. But no such attempt being made for EicherMotors, and that's the stock number 12 that we have on our radar. It is the second straight day that we are seeing losses come by on EicherMotors, and mind you, yesterday was a day when the stock price tanked more than 8%. One of the biggest intraday losses we witnessed in the recent past. Today as well, EicherMotors sub the 21,000 mark is at a level of is lower by 2.5%. So just in the last 2 trading sessions, the stock price has tanked a little over 10%. Royal Enfield sales really disappointing the street, and hence we are seeing this decline come by in the stock price, which by the way has continued right from the middle of 2018. Vivek, L&T, second brokerage note coming out today. What does HSBC have to say?
Well, pretty much similar to what we heard yesterday. There are concerns about the order book, the guidance. Remember, yesterday there were worries that the guidance would be trimmed to 0 to 2%. What is HSBC saying? They're seeing weak order wins, and what they're saying is, however, Q3 is something that they're looking at. They say a decent earnings growth is what they are penciling in. They're expecting the return on equity of L&T, given the fact that the company has categorically stated that that is its ambition. They're expecting it by the end of FY21 to see an improvement, which is why they have a buy stance and they have a target price of close to 1580 rupees a share.
and it's a percent of a decline on LNC. Stock number 14, then and Pranay, Vodafone India. I think that the consumers continue to flock towards Jio, and this time around it's been a massive decline in the number of subscribers.
Yes, particularly for Vodafone, weak subscriber data continues, where the active subscriber number actually fell for the 6th straight month in October. Now this number came after market yesterday, and it's down by about 30.1 lakh. Haven't seen that for any other telecom operator. On the other hand, Bharti Airtel has actually won back some active subscribers, so it saw its best numbers in terms of additions in 4 months. And like you pointed out, Jio naturally had the strongest active subscriber additions, but the pace of Jio also has now slowed down when it comes to incremental additions.
Oh yeah, now it's just adding about 10 million odd customers as opposed to 13 odd million that it added in the month of September. But yeah, for Vodafone India, very, very negative news. And stock number 15, Siddharth, ONGC, it's one of the top losers on the Nifty.
Well, yes, Mubina, in fact, last 1 year or so, the correlation between OMCs or upstream downstream companies with crude oil prices have gone for toss, and these stocks are underperforming irrespective of oil prices going higher or lower. ONGC has been correcting. Yes, there was a bounce back, and that bounce back is getting sold into. This is third consecutive trading session that the stock is correcting with high volumes, and now also we are seeing fresh formation of short positions.
Okay, 2.5% lower for ONGC. We'll just take a quick breather right here on Market Fatafat, but come right back. We will be flagging off the next 15 movers and shakers when we return. Alright, welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat, counting down to the top 30 stocks we are watching out for today, and starting off the next segment with Petronet LNG. Sumit, you have a buy over here. Why is that?
See, Petronet is looking good on charts. Stock seems to be like it is moving higher, and from here on we can see a good up move. If you look at the charts in last couple of days, what we have seen is a good up move in the stock from lower levels. We have seen the stock has moved up from 200 levels, and now it's quoting at around 229, 230 levels. Still, this stock is looking good, and from here on we can see a move till 240 or 245 levels. Those who have taken long positions, they can hold on the existing long positions, and in fact one can initiate fresh long positions at the current market price, that is 229 levels, with the stop loss to be placed at 222 on lower side for the upside target of 240 and then 245 levels in next 3 to 4 days time horizon.
0.3% higher, and we have been seeing quite an interesting upward trajectory in the last couple of days from 223. Now it's at about 230 rupees for Petronet, and Sumit has a buy. Alright, let's talk about the next stock, and that is Tata Power. Two important news pieces coming over here. First up is that the Mumbai Discom has decided to extend its pact with the company. Mumbai Discom, of course, I mean the BEST. It's a 677 megawatt power purchasing agreement that they had entered into with Tata Power. The same is now being extended for a period of 5 years. Additionally, both power stocks, Tata Power and Adani Power, would be in focus because the states have missed a deadline on Mundra tariff. The stock price of Tata Power, however, has given up all those early morning gains and now is just about trading flat with a bit of green seen on the screen, just a bit of a positive bias witnessed in Tata Power. So while it was trading with gains of just about 1% earlier on, now in fact it's just near the day's low. Alright, United Spirits and Vivek, for the last 3 days we've been flagging off this counter weakness continuing on account of not very positive news.
That's right. It's become alcohol as well as the cigarette industry is generally the whipping boy as far as putting in additional taxes or additional excise duties are concerned. Today, Macquarie too has come out with a note. They have maintained their underperformed weighting on the stance. Remember, their target price is the lowest on the street. They have a target price of close to 511 rupees a share. What they're saying is that at this point of time, competitive intensity is something that is going to become extremely important to track as far as the P&A segment is concerned. They're saying that the pricing action of the competitors is something that needs to be tracked, and what they're saying is the P&A segment is something that the company would have to be wary of, and they expect competition as well as pricing undercutting to something that they are watching out for quite closely.
Alright, so while Macquarie does have an underperformed stance, there's a bit of a recovery that is attempted by United Spirits after the losses it witnessed in the last, the day before yesterday's trading session. 0.3% higher, but moving on to the next stock, Sun Pharma. Pranay, yesterday this one was an outperformer, and today as well, it is adding on to the gains.
Yes, and the news overnight is that some generic US companies have announced price hikes for several drugs. One, this is a routine that happens at the start of every year. Second, it eases, pricing concerns, and therefore it allows for other Indian generic companies. Sun Pharma is the biggest one, but many others should follow suit, and therefore they will benefit from these price hikes being announced by overseas peers over there. Therefore, you're seeing it hold strong and better than some of its peers today.
Okay, 0.25% higher for Sun Pharma, now at a level of 441 rupees. Siddharth, PFC, you're seeing fresh formation of longs in this counter today?
Well, absolutely, and it's reaching its again that swing high of 108, and that has acted as strong resistance since the last 3 trading session. Even a few months back, that is in mid of November, the stock retraced from 108 to 82, 83 odd levels, and again it has reached back those levels. Last 2 days volumes are low. In first 2.5 hours of trade, those low volume ticks are now much smaller because volumes have surpassed last 2 days average. And long formation, as you mentioned, so stock probably is poised, Movina, to move above that 108 level, and if it moves above that, then you would see some long traders again jumping into it, and some of our technical experts have been quite bullish on this name.
Right, 3% higher for PFC, just about hovering near the day's high. Okay, Kunal, Manappuram Finance, and what are your observations here, because you have a buy? Why is that?
So, the stock has been going through a gradual upside, Mubina, and over the last 2 months, I think from those October lows, the stock has recovered more than 15 to 20%. Now it's on the verge of trying to test its 200-day moving average, and that's been the case with most of these other peer stocks as well. So I believe Manappuram could also try and complete that pattern and go through a gradual upside from current levels as well. 98 to 100 is where the 200 DMA is placed. I believe the stock should try and test that range over the next couple of weeks. I would suggest a buy with the stop loss at 90.
8% higher, and yes, like Kunal mentioned, the stock has been on a gradual uptick for the last couple of sessions. So Kunal is in fact watching out for a target of 98 to 100 rupees from here on in the short term. All right, the next stock that we have on our radar has got to be from the consumption space, and it is Nestle. Quite an up move witnessed today in trade. Credit Suisse has of course spoken about the third quarter, or in Nestle's case, of course, the fourth quarter for calendar year 2019 and 2018 rather. Excuse me. And what we can expect, they seem to be pretty optimistic. They're saying that Nestle is likely to deliver a strong fourth quarter for 2018. They believe that in fact Nestle will be able to lead with the fastest volume growth in the sector, as they believe that the company has the best margin tailwind because input prices like milk, etc. are coming down. So that's going to aid Nestle. In fact, we did have Amul's management as well speaking about the lower milk prices. So of course he did say the trajectory is going to reverse going forward according to him. But yeah, for now it's advantage Nestle. Okay, stock number 23 then, and Vivek, what is it that CLSA likes about ICICI Bank?
Well, CLSA has come out with a very detailed long note as far as Indian financials are concerned. And why is it that we are focusing on ICICI Bank? Well, it's the topic for CLSA for 2019. They're saying that 2019 is going to be a litmus test for most of the businesses in the financial space. They believe that it's going to be a year of new facets and mean reversion. The rationale for liking ICICI Bank is quite simple. They believe that companies with strong deposit franchises are going to do well, and according to them, ICICI Bank has the strongest deposit franchise. No wonder it's their topic. The stock today is it's in the green, but still not doing as well as CLSA would have liked it to.
All right. Well, it's a longer-term perspective, so they may do well in 2019, Vivek. Okay, stock number 24. Pranay Triveni Turbine. Yesterday, just in the last hour, we saw a bulk deal. Who were the buyer and the sellers?
Well, SBI Mutual Fund picked up a cool 51.5 lakh shares at a price of 53 apiece. I think this price was perhaps misreported, and seller is Nalanda India Fund. The stock though is down about 3%.
Triveni Turbine losing around 3%. Nalanda India Fund has sold shares in this counter. Okay, Siddharth, Coal India, yesterday we did have a very interesting note from CLSA saying that this would be their pick for 2019. What is it that we are seeing, however, today in trade?
Well, market is not paying much of heed to that report, Mubina, because Coal India is set for all-time closing low on closing basis. Yes, I understand the stock is very high dividend paying stock, so you should not see that this is closing low because there's so much of dividend which has been given. But nevertheless, the weakness in metal basket and related space, that is mining, you're also seeing NMDC going down. Coal India is also down by 1.5% or so. And if it closes the levels, this would be all-time closing low for stock after its listing, and we are seeing some fresh formation of short positions. So probably the bullish view needs to wait for some more time.
234, and according to Siddharth, heading for an all-time low. This is of course the stock movement we witnessed in Coal India, down more than 1%, but that's really been the trend for the metals and mining space in general today in trade. And at 26 we have Tata Communications. Sumit, you have a buy here as well. What's the rationale?
See, Tata Communication has showing a good price action today. Looking at the chart, it seems that the same price action can continue, and from here on we can see a move till 200 DMA levels, that is placed at 560, 570 levels. Those who have taken long positions, they should hold on the existing long positions with the stop loss to be placed at 518 on lower side. If any dip of around 7 to 8 point is seen from present levels, then that should be used as a buying opportunity, and one can initiate fresh long positions at the current market price for the upside target of 560 and 570 levels with the stop loss to be placed at 518 on lower side.
3% higher for Tata Communications. Meantime, we were just talking about the metals and mining space and how that's a pocket that is one of the biggest losers today in trade sectorally, and Nalco as well among that pack, losing a little over 1%. And do remember, global metal stocks as well have been declining. Back in Europe in the stock 600, the metals and mining sector did lose a little over 1.5%. That's a trend we're witnessing here as well. The LME complex as well has fallen. Base metals prices have overnight declined. LME aluminium, which is of course the key metal that Nalco has exposure to, has fallen more than 2% overnight. So red on the screen for National Aluminium Company. Vivek, Hatsun Agro and movement in milk prices. What's keeping the stock active?
Well, Mubina, very, very interesting stock, a very, very interesting space to be in as far as 2019 is concerned. What a lot of these milk production companies are saying at this point of time is that they believe that milk prices are something that have bottomed out. They believe that 2019 we're going to see tremendous increase as far as pricing is concerned. And what is the reason for that? They're seeing a significant drop as far as milk supplies are concerned. And the other thing that has happened is that they're seeing very low stocks as far as skim milk powder is concerned. Along with Hatsun Agro, most of the other milk dairy companies are doing quite well. Hatsun Agro, of course, outperforming almost 8% up in the session today. Yeah,
and just the sharp spike witnessed in the last couple of minutes. Very quickly then, Pranay, Motherson, Sumi, what's the outlook here?
Well, ICRA has actually changed its rating from positive to stable. They were reviewing some of the debt facilities across instruments worth about 1,800 odd crore rupees. But many other brokerages have been pointing that some of the clients in China have seen a slowdown, and therefore it could affect its numbers. That's why the stock is trading a little soft in trade today.
All right, and finally, Siddharth, United Breweries, what are you observing here?
Well, Vivek spoke about USL, that's not doing that great, but UBL, consolidating since last 2 weeks after a great move from, 1170 odd levels to 1350, 1370, and after this consolidation, we are seeing decent price volume action. Mind you, breakout has still not taken place. 1400 is resistance. Above 1400, it is quite likely, Mubina, that a lot of long traders would flock in.
Okay, on that note, thanks to all of you for joining in, gentlemen, on Market Fatafat. Sumit, to you as well for giving our viewers a taste of individual stock strategies. By the way, just pull up the way the market has fallen. A significant deceleration witnessed. We are hovering, of course, near the day's low at 10,722. In fact, I'd request my producer to pull up the intraday chart because that would better highlight the fall. And there you have it. It's just been a one-way decline, and on an intraday basis, we've lost 90 points from the day's high, which was at about 10,814. Like I said, it's all over the metals complex that is pulling the market lower. In fact, all the constituents of the metals complex are in the red. Jindal Steel, NMDC, Tata Steel, all of them are losing. And how? And along with that, we also have pressure coming in from the likes of the media space, which has lost about 1.3%. FMCG as well has lost out quite a bit. Interestingly, realty once again is being able to hold on. But yeah, energy, auto, all of these have gone deeper in the red as we speak. So significant decline witnessed. Like I said, the mid-cap index 2, which was earlier trading in the green, has now in fact lost out, is in the red. It's down by about 0.2%. The small cap index 2 is losing about 0.3%. Very quickly, I'm just going to run through the Nifty losers list and see if the selling pressure over there, which are are the ones that has actually seen maximum selling pressure. EicherMotors, another, it's 3% gone now. HPCL has lost 2.8%. Again, IOC, BPCL giving that one company, along with ONGC losing 2.4%. And as you can see, all of them, especially EicherMotors was at the day's low, HPCL as well, just about at that level. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for you on this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Markets at Noon comes up next.